Good morning. I am at the Kalabsha Temple. I'm a little bit stuffed up, slightly medicated, so that's why I sound kind of nasal. But I'm going to show you something interesting here. So the Kalabsha Temple is on the shore of Lake Nasser. It was moved by the German government in 1962 because of obviously the building of the Nasser Dam, and it would have been originally location would have been flooded, so they moved it closer to the shore, to the new shore. And there's a couple of observations. It's a miniaturized version of the Edfu Temple. That's the first thing that I'm noticing. So, for example, I'm standing here in the equivalent of the Peristyle Hall. This is the pylon. And initially, I was confused as to the direction, but this is facing southeast, if I'm not mistaken. So southeast. Why is that important? Well, because that's where the star Sirius rises on when it helically rises after its absence for around 670 and 69, 68 days, depending on the era. And then so here, looking forward, this is the this is the Pronaos, just like at Edfu, and then you're walking into the sanctuary. And later on, I'm gonna just pick one ritual, the lotus offering ritual, and I'm gonna translate the text for you, just to get an idea what the language and the text are like. Here there's something interesting. So there's the cartouche, but it doesn't say the name of the pharaoh. It says Per Al-Ah, so that is where the word pharaoh comes from. This must be Mandulus. So this temple is dedicated to a Nubian emperor by the name of Mandulus, or actually, I'm sorry, it's a Nubian god, Mandulus. And so this is basically the libation ritual by Thoth and Horus. So, but let me show you something else. So that's why I'm drawing a parallel to Edfu, especially not just because of the architecture, but also because of the iconography here. So so this is the equivalent of the enclosure wall, and at Edfu, if you have the naos to your right, which this is the naos, the sanctuary, and the wall to your left, that means you're looking at the western wall, but that's Edfu. Here, the temple is rotated, so because that's looking southeast. And so this temple is oriented just like, make sure I don't get this wrong, but it's oriented like the original Edfu temple from the New Kingdom, because the pylon from that temple is on the east side, outside of the east wall of the enclosure. So that means we're looking here at the south, basically nearly south wall, but kind of southeast actually. Or I should say a little bit southwest actually, because the pylon is facing southeast. So, and you can see from a little bit about construction. So the temple has not been dressed down. So you can see in some areas the blocks have been dressed down, but in many other areas they're just raw, coming out of the quarry. And they still have the quarry marks. In this case, the tree sign. There's a Hetep sign, and then there's a lot of crosses, which even in the Old Kingdom, so that meant Aimai Uret. Aimai Uret means it's a ship term, it's a naval term corresponding to, hope I don't get this wrong, starboard. So it would be to your right in the front. I think that's starboard. So here you have you see the crosses, so that usually stands for Aimai. And that sign goes, all the way back to the Old Kingdom. You can see this technique of matching blocks. In the Khufu boat, for example, they have different planks. They matched up with symbols that are alike, so you can reassemble the ship. And so these are like construction guides, basically. But in this case, so there, for example, there is the Thai sign, the Mortise sign. So this means Thes in hieroglyphic. There's the tree sign. There's the Aimai Uret sign. So, but I haven't figured out the system yet, because it's kind of mixed up. So I don't know exactly why those are the Imai signs are over here, why the tree signs are over here, and then there's more Imai signs over there. So the system, I haven't figured it out yet, but maybe we'll figure it out later. So here now, so at Edfu, this would be the north wall. Let me zoom out so you can orient it. This would be the north wall, and the creation story would be written there. But in this case, this is actually now the east wall, almost east. And so you might be able to tell from the reliefs that this is a completely, not completely, but it's a different style from the Egyptian style, because we're here past the first cataract, so we're in Nubia, and of course this temple is a Nubian temple, so you can see that the reliefs are Egyptian-like, but they have their own local style. And then on the other side, here's a familiar theme. There's Isis, that's Horus behind Isis, and that is the well, I guess that's the king, the Nubian king, dressed up as potentially as Mandulus. I don't know because I don't have a name here. So, but it's an offering of incense, senter, to Isis, and something that's peculiar to the southern Egyptian worshipping is worshipping the Ba. This we're going to see this at Philae Temple. The Philae Temple is dedicated to the mummy, the dead body of Osiris, but it's also dedicated to the Ba of Osiris. So it's a kind of this duality between the physical mummy and the Ba, and both were being worshipped at Philae. And that same theme you can see here, which is there's the Ba, and just like at Edfu, the horse, we can see this in the relief on the north wall, just like at Edfu, Horus is facing directly with his own Ba, which is the creative power, the soul that is involved in the original creation, in the remake basically of the Lost World. That's part of the creation story. So that Ba is mentioned, it's sitting, and it's also in relief, it's sitting on a perch facing Horus, and here's exactly the same sort of iconography. And at Philae also we're going to see something just like it, a Ba bird, and in that case it'll be the soul of Osiris that's being worshipped in the sanctuary, in his secret sanctuary on Bige Island. And one more thing to mention here is a Nilometer. So at Edfu, the Nilometer is on the east side, and here, well, I guess this is also the east side, right? So if that's south, then this, I'm sorry, no, this is actually the west wall. No, just to make it, no, this is east, right? If that's east, that's west. So this is south, yeah. So this is the south wall, and on the south wall, unlike at Edfu, where it's on the east side, we have the Nilometer, that's here, and there's a well for potentially for libation to perform rituals in the temple. Okay, now we're gonna go into the sanctuary, and I'm gonna show you a relief that shows the Emperor Augustus, the first Roman emperor, after conquering Egypt when Cleopatra was defeated with Mark Antony. And so Augustus is basically the one who commissioned this temple. And it's probably politics. He was trying to appease the Nubians, and so he helped them build this temple. Politics always is involved.